Zombie shooters are everywhere these days, so whenever a new one gets announced, it's easy to ignore it. But Haex might actually be doing enough differently to earn a spot on your radar. At first glance, Haex looks like another co-op survival shooter. 4 players, dark environments, relentless enemies, and a constant fight to stay alive. But after looking at what the developers have shown so far, it seems they're aiming for a much more tactical experience than your average run-and-gun zombie game. I do have a few concerns. Co-op shooters live or die based on enemy variety and mission design. If every objective boils down to go here, defend this area, then extract, players could burn out pretty quickly. The long-term success will depend on whether the game keeps introducing fresh mechanics, challenging encounters, and meaningful progression. Sega is finally bringing Crazy Taxi back, but this isn't just a simple remake. Crazy Taxi World Tour looks like the franchise's biggest evolution yet, and surprisingly, not many people are talking about it. If you grew up playing the original Crazy Taxi, you already know the formula. Pick up passengers, race against the clock, ignore every traffic law imaginable, and pull off insane shortcuts to earn the biggest fare possible. It was chaotic, addictive, and unlike anything else at the time. From the footage and information released so far, speed is still the heart of the game. Drifting through crowded streets, launching off ramps, weaving between traffic, and discovering hidden shortcuts all seem to remain central to the experience. Thankfully, Sega doesn't appear to be abandoning the arcade-style gameplay that made the original such a fan favorite.
A man with your skill set must be able to move unconstrained, unrestricted.
John Wick has already inspired some incredible action games, but this upcoming Untitled project could finally deliver the AAA assassin experience fans have been waiting for. For years, players have wanted a game that truly captures the fast, tactical gunplay and brutal hand-to-hand combat of the John Wick movies. While there have been games influenced by the franchise, this Untitled project has the opportunity to go much further by putting precision, strategy, and style at the center of every encounter. Based on what has been revealed publicly so far, the focus appears to be on cinematic action rather than simply spraying bullets. If the developers stay true to the films, every fight should reward quick thinking, smart positioning, and seamless transitions between firearms, melee attacks, and environmental takedowns. That's exactly what separates John Wick from a typical third-person shooter.
I believe you are ready, sir.
Yeah.
It's been years since Spyro made a proper comeback, and while everyone keeps asking for a new adventure, hardly anyone is talking about what could become the Purple Dragon's biggest journey yet: Spyro, A Realm Beyond. Ever since the Spyro Reignited trilogy reminded everyone why this franchise is so beloved, fans have been waiting for a brand new entry instead of another remaster. If A Realm Beyond delivers on that promise, it could finally give Spyro the fresh start the series has needed for years. Overall, I'm optimistic. There's still plenty of room for a high-quality 3D platformer in today's gaming landscape, and Spyro has the legacy to stand out if this project reaches its full potential. The Wild West has made a comeback in gaming, but while most people are waiting for the next Red Dead, there's another title quietly riding under the radar: Westlanders. Westlanders looks like another Western adventure, but after seeing what's been revealed, it feels like the developers are aiming for something different. Instead of focusing entirely on cinematic storytelling, the game appears to emphasize player freedom, survival, and building your own legend on the frontier. Another thing I'm curious about is the story. A memorable Western needs compelling characters and tough moral choices. If Westlanders can combine strong storytelling with player-driven exploration, it could stand out in a genre that hasn't seen many new contenders recently. Overall, I think this is one of those games that deserves more attention. It may not have the marketing power of a major AA release, but sometimes smaller teams create the most memorable open-world experiences by focusing on atmosphere and player immersion instead of sheer scale.
The lights go down and the curtain rises, for our next act is about to begin. On this humble stage, magic flirts with the miraculous, and dream becomes reality. Are you sitting comfortably? Are you prepared to witness feats both mystifying and illuminating? Watch closely then, and let the shadows tell their story.
Step into a world where stage magic becomes real. In Magicians, the Devil's Deal, every ability shapes how you fight, adapt, and survive, as you face powerful enemies in a twisted world built on illusion and control. In this first-person tale, magic has broken free from the stage and shattered the world. Play as Jacob Mentiuro, a celebrated stage magician whose talent bordered on the supernatural. Cast into hell, he is trapped in Theaterland, a twisted domain ruled by the rivals who betrayed him, the Masters. Bound by a treacherous pact with the devil, Jacob must survive this infernal stage where performance is power and deception is survival. As you descend through Theaterland, discover powerful abilities that expand your control and precision. Stage magic is more than a weapon. It becomes a lethal discipline as cards turn into razor-sharp projectiles, chains ensnare your enemies, and gravity itself bends to your will. I'm also hoping the game offers more than just combat. A memorable fantasy world needs interesting enemies, rewarding exploration, and a story that gives players a reason to keep pushing forward. If the narrative ends up feeling like an afterthought, that could hold the experience back. Even so, this is one of the more intriguing FPS games on the 2027 lineup. It isn't trying to imitate military shooters. It embraces fantasy, speed, and creative combat. That alone makes it stand out in a crowded genre.
We remember you, dear reader.
MOOSA, The Forgotten Relic is an emotional and atmospheric adventure set in the pages of a living storybook, brimming with myth and ancient magic. Guide a tiny but determined hero on a heartfelt journey of challenge, courage, and connection. Traverse a fallen kingdom, solve environmental puzzles woven into the landscape, and embark on a timeless adventure. Overall, I think this is one of those games that won't dominate social media, but it has all the ingredients to become a fan favorite. Beautiful art direction, thoughtful level design, and a charming protagonist are a combination that rarely disappoints.
Shall we begin?
전하, 전하께 하려옵니다. 산천의 초목이 이미 시들어 죽었사오고 한성 안팎에는 굶어 죽은 백성의 시신이 쌓여가고 있사옵니다. 백성들이 굶주림에 미쳐 이제는 서로의 살을 뜯어먹고 있사옵니다. 살아있는 이가 죽은 이를 잡아먹고 그 죽은 이가 또다시 누군가의 식량이 되옵니다.
Hack and slash games are nothing new, but every once in a while, one comes along with enough style and personality to make you stop scrolling. Dirty Fate is exactly that kind of game. The moment I saw the first trailer footage, one thing became obvious. This game isn't trying to be slow or realistic. It's built around speed, aggression, and keeping you in constant control of the battlefield. Every fight encourages you to stay on the offensive, chaining together sword strikes, brutal finishers, and powerful abilities without giving enemies a chance to recover. Another thing I appreciate is that the game seems focused on momentum. There's very little downtime between encounters, and the pacing suggests the developers want players to stay fully engaged from one battle to the next. That's exactly what a great action game should do. Make every fight feel like a test of skill rather than a repetitive chore. Breathtaking mountains and rivers, once prosperous cities and centers of power, slums shattered by famine and shadowed back alleys. Each region carries its own atmosphere, combat structure, and story. The world is not merely a backdrop, it is steeped in the lives and despair of those who endured that era. Every step you take becomes part of a legend. Everbloom is a cute and cozy social farming sim set in a world of whimsy. Grow buckets of popcorn right on the plant and make chocolate milk by feeding your cows candy bars. Grow, care, build, decorate, and explore the world of Everbloom, solo or with your friends. Another thing I like is the art direction. The developers aren't chasing photorealism, they're creating something timeless. 5 years from now, a strong visual style will age much better than ultra-realistic graphics.
You never know what it will be. The thing that changes you forever.
Picture this, it's 2:17 in the morning. The streets are empty, the power is out, and your phone has no signal. Then you hear something moving in the darkness. Not human, not animal. Most people would run. In Hunter the Reckoning, Deathwish, that's exactly when your mission begins. Deathwish throws you into the shoes of ordinary people who have discovered an extraordinary truth. Monsters are real. Vampires, werewolves, ghosts, and other supernatural horrors don't just exist. They've been hiding in plain sight, manipulating humanity from the shadows. The story is set within the World of Darkness universe, where secret organizations and supernatural creatures wage an invisible war while normal people go about their daily lives. Your character isn't a superhero. They're someone who has witnessed the impossible, survived the encounter, and decided to fight back. That decision comes with a price, because once you've seen the truth, there's no going back.
A reckoning is coming.
My friends and fellow Gentiles, it is an honor to be with you today. I bring greetings from the Führer himself. The German army under the command of Hitler's hyenas, yes, has tamed North Africa. And now is the time for America to join us in the fascist wave taking over the world. Please enjoy my latest documentary feature film.
History is filled with stories of hidden treasures, secret experiments, and mysterious disappearances. But what if one of those forgotten legends wasn't just a myth? That's where Nekome, Nazi Hunter, begins. The game throws you into an alternate version of history, where the remnants of a secret Nazi organization have resurfaced, searching for ancient relics and supernatural artifacts capable of changing the balance of power. Standing in their way is Nekome, a highly trained hunter whose mission is simple on paper, but incredibly dangerous in practice. Stop the organization before history repeats itself. Overall, Nekome Nazi Hunter has the ingredients of a compelling adventure: historical intrigue, stealth-focused gameplay, cinematic action, and a mystery that unfolds as you explore. It may not have the marketing budget of a blockbuster title, but it certainly has the potential to surprise fans of stealth games.
They burned my world to the ground. Now I'm returning the favor. I'll hunt them down in their homes, in their cities, in their forests. I'll find them, and I'll kill them all.
You're ready for the challenge and the reward of opening your very own cult.
Nothing can beat us, nothing can break us, nothing can shock us, nothing can shake us. I know it's nothing.
You'll be going to beautiful Bedford County, USA. Teaming with locals waiting to join our family.
Join Us is probably one of the strangest games coming in 2027, and honestly, that's exactly why I'm interested. At first glance, it looks like another management simulator, but underneath that quirky art style is a sandbox where every decision changes how your followers behave. Instead of simply building structures, you'll recruit members, expand your influence, manage resources, and try to keep your growing organization from collapsing under its own chaos. The fun comes from unpredictability. Followers might disagree with your decisions. Different personalities create unexpected situations. Your carefully planned strategy could completely fall apart because of one bad choice. That dynamic is what makes sandbox simulators so addictive.
You better reevaluate your life choices.
You pissed off a random person on the street. You want a trophy?
Even if they don't know it yet.
But our love just can't be stopped. Nothing can beat us, nothing can break.
Build a cult, and I will shield you from the apocalypse. Join us.
Они пришли вместе с грязной водой, когда нас затопила река и размыла могилы. Они съели почти все. Грязная нежить, проклятый, как и все мы. Просыпайся!
Redemption of the Damned is a survival horror in the scenery of 19th century Europe. You are Professor Abraham Van Helsing, who was summoned to a distant village to investigate a series of grisly murders. You were ambushed, and when you wake up, you discover things are more dire than expected. The world itself is another highlight. Crumbling castles, plague-ridden villages, forgotten cathedrals, and cursed forests create a bleak atmosphere that constantly reminds you this land has already fallen. Instead of relying on endless dialogue, the environment appears to tell much of the story through ruined settlements, abandoned battlefields, and mysterious relics waiting to be discovered. If the developers can combine satisfying combat with a powerful story and meaningful player choices, Redemption of the Damned could become one of the most memorable dark fantasy RPGs of 2027.
Вставай, проклятый. Игра еще не закончилась.
Earth is already gone. There are no cities left to save, no armies coming to help, and no miracle waiting around the corner. Humanity's final hope isn't on Mars, it's on Venus. And getting there may be the last mission our species ever attempts. That's the premise of Venus, The Last Ascent, and it's one of the most intriguing sci-fi concepts I've seen in a while. Instead of dropping you into another alien war, the game is about survival, exploration, and making impossible decisions in one of the most hostile environments imaginable. You play as part of the final expedition sent to humanity's last viable colony high above the clouds of Venus. But when the mission goes catastrophically wrong, you're stranded, separated from your crew, and forced to uncover what really happened. Was it a simple accident, or did someone sabotage the mission from within? You wake up in a city where every smiling face is hiding a secret. Every alley has a story, and every choice you make can change someone's fate forever. That's the feeling Stranger Than Heaven gives me, and honestly, it's unlike anything else on my radar. If you follow the developers behind the Yakuza/Like a Dragon series, you already know they're masters at creating worlds that feel alive. Stranger Than Heaven looks like it's taking that same philosophy but placing it inside a completely new universe, filled with mystery, crime, and psychological drama. The story appears to revolve around a man searching for answers after a series of unexplained events turns his ordinary life upside down. The deeper he investigates, the more he realizes the city itself is hiding something far bigger than a simple conspiracy. Friends become suspects, strangers become allies, and every clue raises even more questions. Instead of rushing toward action, the narrative seems focused on building suspense and making you question who can actually be trusted. Combat, from what we've seen, still looks cinematic and impactful, blending brutal hand-to-hand fighting with stylish finishing moves. But I actually hope the story remains the main attraction. If the gameplay and narrative support each other instead of competing for attention, this could become one of the most immersive experiences of 2027.
Most zombie games ask one simple question: how long can you survive? But State of Decay 3 asks something much harder. What kind of leader will you become when survival isn't enough anymore? And that's exactly why it's my #1 most underrated upcoming game. From everything shown publicly so far, State of Decay 3 appears to be taking a much darker and more realistic direction than its predecessors. The reveal trailer hinted at a world where nature is reclaiming abandoned towns, but the infected are evolving alongside it. The image of a zombie deer immediately told fans that this isn't just the same apocalypse with better graphics, something is changing, and that mystery has me incredibly curious. What excites me most isn't the zombies, it's the freedom. Every decision feels like it could reshape your community. Do you risk sending your best medic on a dangerous supply run? Do you recruit a stranger who might become your greatest asset or your biggest mistake? Do you expand your base now or save those materials for the winter ahead? These aren't scripted moments. They're the kind of choices that create unforgettable stories unique to every player. Of course, I do have a few concerns. State of Decay 2 launched with technical issues, repetitive missions, and limited endgame content. This sequel has much bigger expectations, and simply looking better won't be enough. The mission variety, progression systems, and long-term replayability all need to take a significant leap forward. But despite those concerns, this is still the game on this list that I'm most excited about. Very few franchises combine open-world exploration, survival mechanics, resource management, and permanent consequences as effectively as State of Decay. When everything clicks, no two playthroughs are ever the same. For me, this isn't just another zombie game. It's a survival simulator where every victory feels earned and every loss becomes part of your own story.